So, NPC Studio has been a big hit for us, but for the ultra portable set, we have the NPC Fly.
What's up? You got your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe, because today we're gonna be talking about the NPC Fly. What had happened was... So what other flies do we know? The Fly Girls? The original crew on the In Living Color show, which Jennifer Lopez was first introduced in? Baxter the Fly? One of the arch nemesis of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? The Firefly? AKA the lightning bug that you see every now and then in the summer and then you never see it again? And the NPC Fly. So the year was 2012. Akai just released the NPC Renaissance and the NPC Studio. Native Instruments was whooping their butts for a couple of years, and finally Akai said if you can't beat them, join them, and thus gave birth to Akai's controller products. Now the NPC Renaissance and the NPC Studio was pretty successful. A lot of people were purchasing them, and a lot of folks was happy that finally Akai clapped back. But Akai wasn't done. They still had some tricks up their sleeve. Akai was always an innovative company, and they realized that iOS devices was becoming more and more popular. Everybody had an iPod, everybody had a tablet, and people were now purchasing the iPad. Everybody was jumping into the iOS scene, so much that companies started creating specific apps for iOS devices. And Akai saw this as an opportunity. Earlier, they released an app called the iMPC, which was pretty much a software iOS type version of an MPC. In actuality, they were going to name it the iMPC 2000 because they modeled its design after the MPC 2000. Great, right? The iMPC was actually pretty dope. A lot of folks purchased the app and really enjoyed it. It really brought the MPC experience to your iPad. But there was one problem. Even though it was great for utilizing the iPad's touchscreen and drawing things over the app, you really couldn't bang out as comfortably as you would like to. For years, NPC enthusiasts have been known to be incredible finger drummers. Guys like Arab Music, who produced a lot of tracks for Dipset, is pretty much world known for his iconic finger drumming on the NPC 2500. Akai wanted finger drummers to be comfortable in their own skin. And in 2012, Akai released yet another addition to their controller line of products. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the NPC Fly. It has 16 genuine backlit NPC pads with known NPC functions like note repeat and swing. You're getting a well-crafted plastic case. It works seamlessly with the iMPC app for sequencing, sample editing, effects, EQ, and more. The double case hinge sits upright, or can lie flat, or can close completely for easy transportation. It comes with a built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and it also has the capability of charging the iPad when plugged into the wall. It's compatible with the iPad 2 and the iPad 3rd generation. Finally, you can make beats on the fly. This, my friends, was kind of confusing when it came to the NPC community. They really didn't seem to get the Fly. I mean, if you wanted something portable, you kind of already had the NPC 500. You can just put batteries in that thing and take it with you wherever you want. So, you know, some of the NPC enthusiasts were kind of scratching their heads like, what did we need this for again? Another thing, it was kind of expensive. When it first came out, it was about $299, $300. I mean, you might not think that's expensive, but let's say you didn't have an iPad. If you wanted to use this device or enjoy it, you would now have to purchase an iPad. And I think the going iPad prices at the time was about $500, $600. So in actuality, if you was just starting a studio out and you wanted to start it off with this MPC Fly device, you'd probably spend over $1,000 getting your studio together. This was a strange business model. It reminded me of Cole's Renum Spoons idea. You know, you and your partner get together and decide to open up a restaurant. And you're like, okay, man, what's the business plan? And he's like, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have the customers come in. We're gonna sit them down. We're gonna put nice clean aprons around them. And you're like, okay, so how are we gonna make money? What are we gonna charge them? He's like, wait. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make them rent the spoons. You're like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's a perfect idea. They sit down and they're eating their dinner. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna charge them for the forks, $2. Then we're gonna charge them for the knives, $4. And then we're gonna charge them for the spoons, $5. Renum spoons, get it? This was Akai's business model. It didn't really make that much sense. And the MPC Fly had more issues. Sometimes some of the lower buttons would stick or you'd get a delayed response. You know, folks had some complaints. And give it the next year, around 2013, and Akai released the MPC Fly 30. Now, this joint had more issues than Marvel Comics. Okay, people was complaining since the release of this unit. They just couldn't get with it. Like, if you set it up upright on your lap like a laptop, the top portion was wobbly. And if you slanted it down, you know, to kind of get a better view, now the top portion was top heavy and it would tip the unit over. People were complaining when you put the iPad in the case, you couldn't really get in the headphone jack all the way because the case was pushing it out. And the speaker opening of the case was designed in a way where it would muffle the iPad sound. People was hitting the forums in rage. They were like, what is Akai doing to us? Why did they release this? Another thing is, you use your iPad for other things other than making beats. You know, like sometimes you might want to surf the internet or check your email, and you don't want it to be connected to a drum pad contraption every time you want to use your iPad. You know what I'm saying? Because you would have to unconnect it, unhook it up to use the iPad by itself. Then when you decide to make your beats, you got to go back and hook it up to the iPad. And then you gotta unhook it up again. You know, it's kind of like you ever go to a friend's house and they make you take off your shoes. You know, you might enter the door and you're like, hey, Jim, what's up? Yeah, you told me to come over to watch the game. He's like, yeah. Come right in. But before you do, just leave your shoes at the door. Yeah, you know, it's my thing. So, you know, you're like taking off your shoes and you leave them by the door, and then you walk in and now your socks are getting all dirty because for some reason Jim doesn't keep his floor clean, but he wants you to take off shoes. You know, you get so tired of Jim doing this that next time when he comes over to your place and him and his wife come over and you're like, yeah, come on in, Jim. Yeah, nice to see you. Oh, by the way, can you take off your shoes and leave them by the door? And Jim's like, what do you mean? His wife is looking at you crazy and you're like, yeah, that's my new rules, right? Yeah, you know, I'm trying to keep things clean and cleansy around here. So, would you mind leaving your shoes by the doorway? Now, the one good thing about the MPC Fly 30 was the iMPC app. Now, this app was pretty dope as far as how you would use it as an MPC. It didn't come with the MPC Fly, but it was still a dope app. And the MPC Fly was pretty much originally designed to go with this app. The workflow of the MPC Fly with the IMPC was like this. You have 16 playable pads. You have your swing, your timing correct, your 16 levels. Even though it only has 4 tracks, they use it pretty well. Each of the 4 tracks has its own drum kit. It has its pan, it has its faders, it has an effects bus with a bit crusher, a delay, a compressor limiter for mastering. To the left of the unit, you got all your factory sounds, all your sounds, and you can just quickly slide them onto the pads with just a swipe of the finger. If you want to sample something, it's real easy. All you gotta do is hit the pad that you want to sample on, go to the left of the app where it says sample new sound, press that button, and the record page pops up. And anything you record will be now sampled on that pad. And when you're sampling, it has this cool record feature where you can take anything from your library, throw it onto the record, and start spinning the record, which is going to go to different portions of your song to find the area that you want to sample. If you speed it up forward, it'll move forward in your song. If you speed it up backward, it'll move backward in your song. And whenever you find your spot, just press record and it starts sampling. That's ill. Now, they dropped the price of the MPC Fly 30 when it came out to $199, which was a lot better than the original $299 price. But still, folks had issues with the hardware of the unit. But the app IMPC was really dope, and it probably really helped leading to the development of the MPC Touch, because now they kind of had a prototype and a sense of how it would be like utilizing the MPC with a touchscreen sort of application. But yeah, folks, that's the MPC Fly. What had happened was... So this is your boy, Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to go down low in the description and get that Soundmaster sample pack, where I'm giving you the dopest, illest sounds for you to use in your projects. And no, folks, I don't mean the pink houses. And with it, you get a free introduction video on how to get nice with the keyboard. Have you always wondered how to play the piano? Have you always wondered, how can I play these incredible melodies that I'm hearing all the time? Well, you get an additional video with the sample pack. So this is your boy, Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe. And I'm signing off.